Hey everyone, happy Friday, happy Friday. I hope everyone is having a great day. So today we're going to discuss Shanquella Robinson's autopsy. And we're also going to go over the White House response to Sue Ann Robinson and Benjamin Crump's letter to the White House.
Power on. Bluetooth pairing.
First and foremost,
Bluetooth connected.
as always, wow, let me turn that down some. Yeah, first and foremost, I need everybody to make sure that you have signed the Justice for Shanquella Robinson petition. And the link to that petition is at change.org/Shanquella. That's change.org/Shanquella. So make sure everyone has signed that petition. And as always, I always like to say I have another petition as well. And that one is change.org/Jalen Lewis. That's change.org/Jalen Lewis. And let's see here. Let me zoom in a little bit before I display. Okay, with the Shanquella petition, we are currently at 38,334 signatures. Again, that's 38,334 signatures. And yeah, so we are pretty much going to be at 39,000 soon. And yeah. Now let me check on the other petition that I have as well. Let's see where we're at with that one. Now, I do need more people to help with the other one I'm working on as well. And pretty much what I need people to do is email this petition to news and media outlets. Okay. If you email it to a lot of media and news outlets, it can create awareness and maybe they will report on the story. And the reason I say to email the petition information or the link is because the petition has all the information that anyone will ever need to know about the Jalen Lewis case. So instead of you having to tell them everything that happened or occurred, you can just give them the link and tell them, hey, all the information about the Jalen Lewis case is on the petition. And same with Shanquella Robinson, you can do the same thing as with her as well. Just let them know that all the information that they need to know about this case is on there or any updates. Or of course, and also there is plenty of other news articles as well. So hers is already more widely known, so it's kind of not necessary, but yeah, so that's how you can really help with both cases is just to email the information to your local media and news outlets. So that way they will also report on this story and know about it. Okay, because definitely the Charlotte news media outlets, they definitely know about Shanquella Robinson. And now that Benjamin Crump and Sue Ann Robinson is working on this, and they have a lot of, I would say, notoriety, and they also have clout, most people will say. So they will be able to get the word out, right? Yeah, since they have notoriety and they also have clout, they're more known across the world. This has been able to spread, and that's why it's now at the White House. Okay, so let's see here. Let me go ahead and say hey to everybody here so far. Hey, LA from NC. So yeah, make sure you check out his channel, LA from NC. Hey, my girl Dani, keep bringing the truth. Yeah, check out his channel as well and subscribe to his channel. Hey. Good morning, Bobby. Hey, Sylvia, Katina, Tina, Christy, Sylvia, Monica. Hey. The Me Watch. Hey, Shell. Hey, Marie. Hey, Genuine Woman. I shared it last week to 10 Shanquella Facebook groups. Thank you for the share. Yeah, share, Hunty, share. Hey, Jamila. Hey, Marie. Hi, April. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, so we have is this, I think this is another April. Or is that someone that changed their name? I don't think April changed her name. Well, if not, we have two Aprils now, okay? So, hey, Linda. Hi, did the White House agree? I'm going to read over the article about from the White House. Morning, morning, morning. Hey, Nola, Nola, Nola. And I also have another, like, one of my day ones. Her name is Miss Nola. Okay, so let's see. Linda, Sweet Spirit. Hey, hey, hey. Kiva, hey girl. So come get this commentary, y'all. So make sure y'all check out her channel. She has two channels. Come get this commentary and come get this commentary too. And I can't wait till she brings back Club Kiva, which is her nightclub, like virtual nightclub. So yeah. So you have me on in the background. Okay. Hope it doesn't get swept. No, she will get justice based on the autopsy and how everything is panning out. There's no way that someone will not be punished for this because it has came back as a violent crime. Yeah, so a violent crime according to the autopsy. So someone has to pay for violent crimes. It has not came back as something that could be possibly accidental. So since it's violent, someone has to be charged, and we now know that it's Dejanay Jackson that was charged. Hey Della, hey, Erica. Let's see here. We have Pretty Cash Corn. So yeah, a lot of people are coming out of bushes. Yes, I love it. I love to see it. Hey Kelly. I have TXYs. Is that Texas Wise or just TXYs? Okay, let's see. I just when I see TX, I think automatically of that. Let's see. Yes, the petition is, I made it kind of simple to remember. Change.org/Shanquella, just her first name. Change.org/Shanquella. And if I have mods here, they usually post a link as well. But yeah, that I made it easy to share. Good afternoon, Dani Miles in chat. Sorry, late. We'll sit back and catch up. You're just on time. I usually don't start until 5 to 10 minutes in because I know that it takes a while for the notifications to get out and people to get set up. So I'm pretty much going to start now. I had the Storm Pro Productions. Hey, Monica Gardner, Bonetta. Hey. Yeah. Oh, wow. A lot of people are coming out of the bushes. So yeah, I had pretty much said hey to everybody that has joined so far. If I miss you, it was by mistake. Hey, Betty Boop. Good morning. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on the first article of today. And we first have, let's go ahead and start with this one. I think I'll probably start with the White House because I think that's what people are really interested in. And then I'll move into the autopsy. Now, for now, I do not plan on doing the open chat and live panel. I plan on coming back this evening for that. Okay, so just to be clear, I plan to come back later on for that. But who knows? I'll see how this goes. Because for that, I want to actually download videos and I want to have pictures available. I want to have everything lined up because if someone says, remember this or remember that, I want to have it downloaded, right? Yeah, so I need to make sure that I'm ready for that kind of discussion and I have all my materials. So for the open chat and live, I will have that this evening when I'm prepared, okay? Yeah, because I know people were going to say, what about the dinner video and this video and that video? And I promise I'm going to transfer everything to a computer, my new computer, and I'll have everything lined up so I have reference points. Yeah, so I will come back this evening, okay? I don't want to do it now, and I'm like, I need this email. Where is this? Where's that? Okay, so I'm going to put out more information right now, and then we will all come back for open chat and call in. Okay, so yeah, that sounds like a plan. Okay. Okay, it says devastating White House addresses Shanquella Robinson's death. Okay. It says, let me just say, our hearts go out to Mrs. Robinson's family and friends, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said. The White House Thursday publicly addressed the death of Shanquella Robinson for the first time Thursday. Let me just say, our hearts go out to Mrs. Robinson's family and friends. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said, "It is devastating what occurred." Earlier this week, attorneys Ben Crump and Sue Ann Robinson shared a letter they sent to President Joe Biden and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken that identified a woman who traveled to Mexico with Robinson that they claim was responsible for her death. The letter includes an 18-page packet with her autopsy and unreleased documents from prosecutors and police. In our letter to President Biden and Secretary Blinken, we clearly stated that one of two things needs to happen. Either the U.S. extradites Shanquella's killer to Mexico, or the U.S. takes jurisdiction of the case and her killer is prosecuted. Her lawyer, Crump, said. They left out lawyer on that part. Inaction is not acceptable in this case. Shanquella's family deserves swift justice for her death. On Thursday, Jean-Pierre shared limited insight, citing ongoing efforts by the FBI, Department of Justice, and the State Department. Because there is an FBI investigation underway, there's very little that we can say, Jean-Pierre explained. We got to, as you know, are be careful about criminal investigations or any investigations that are currently happening through the Department of Justice in this particular case, the FBI. Okay, I think there needs to be a little bit of editing on this document. Okay, it says Robinson of Charlotte, North Carolina, traveled to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico with a group of 6 people for vacation in late October 2022. According to a police report, a doctor was called to assist Robinson on Saturday, October 29th around 2 p.m. The group of people with Robinson told the doctor she had been excessively drinking. The doctor checked on Robinson and insisted on taking her to the hospital, but the people she was with refused. Robinson started having
police in Monroe were investigating after a student was found with a loaded gun on campus. We're told it happened at Monroe High School this morning. Police say they arrested that young person and they could file charges against him. Officials say
an ad popped up on. I thought I had my ad blocker on. Okay, so I'm annoying. Okay, so basically it says investigations are currently happening through Department of Justice in this particular case, the FBI. Okay, Robinson of Charlotte, North Carolina, traveled to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico with a group of 6 people for vacation in late October 2022. According to a police report, a doctor was called to assist Robinson on Saturday, October 29th, around 2 p.m. The group of people with Robinson told the doctor she had been excessively drinking. The doctor checked on Robinson and insisted on taking her to the hospital, but the people she was with refused. Robinson started having convulsions around 4 p.m., at which point an ambulance was called. Despite numerous attempts to revive her, Robinson was pronounced dead at 5:57 p.m., according to the police report. While this is the story that appears in the police report about the incident, Robinson's death certificate says she died 15 minutes after suffering a severe spinal cord injury and a broken neck. I would refer you to the State Department as it relates to another country and the diplomatic conversations that occurred there, Jean-Pierre said Thursday in response to the question about the case by reporter April Ryan. So pretty much, even this article is pretty much saying that there's a discrepancy in the police report and the death certificate. Okay, so basically that's why we have the autopsy. And in the autopsy, I'm going to go over another news article that discusses the autopsy. And definitely is going to be a topic of a conversation with the autopsy results. Yeah, definitely is going to be a topic of conversation. Let me refresh this page to make sure that there's nothing like a video here. Wait a second.
About this case. This young woman was killed in Mexico in October of last year. The suspect is in this country, along with those back here, along with those who were present during the deadly beating, okay? He sent a letter asking for extradition of the suspect to Mexico for the Mexican authorities to deal with, or if not, take jurisdiction of it here and deal with it. What's next? What's the White House willing to do?
So let me just first say our hearts go out to Ms. Robinson's family and friends. It is devastating what occurred, and certainly the tragedy is just devastating. And we've been following the news here, but because there's an FBI investigation underway, there's very little that we can say. We got to, as you know, we are very careful about criminal investigations or any investigations that are currently happening through DOJ, in this particular case, FBI. But our hearts go out to the families, and I would have to refer you to the DOJ and the State Department on this.
Let me ask you this. So since there's an FBI investigation, does that mean nothing happens until the investigation is complete? Or, the United States has extradition treaty with Mexico. Is all of this contingent upon the FBI investigation?
What I can say is there's an investigation going on. So this is something that the FBI has to speak to. So that's why I'm referring you to the Department of Justice. And it's also an issue of the State Department, again. So would refer you to the State Department as it relates to another country and the diplomatic conversations that occur there. But again, this is something that we're clearly following here. And our hearts go out to her family.
And last question on this, though. Are there capabilities for the United States to take jurisdiction over this if it doesn't go, if the suspect is not extradited back?
Look, April, I understand the question and I appreciate the questions, all important questions to ask of me. But again, there's an ongoing investigation, so I would refer to the Department of Justice.
Process, not necessarily the investigation.
But there is a process that's currently happening because of the investigation. So I would refer you to the Department of Justice and also the State Department, as there are, this is a diplomatic issue that needs to be handled on that end. Okay.
Howard might have lost to Kansas in the NCAA tournament.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over some comments. Shout out to Genial Woman. She says, "Thanks so much for the update. We appreciate and love you." Yes, Auntie, yes. Yeah, keep on using this hashtag, Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Yeah, keep using this hashtag, Justice for Shanquella Robinson. And shout out to Genial Woman for the super chat. I definitely do appreciate it. And again, everybody else can support the channel by simply just smashing that like button. Okay, so let's see here. Who did I miss? Hold on a second. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over the autopsy, because that's definitely going to be a topic of great debate and discussion, child. Woo. Okay, so, and this is going to be the Charlotte Observer's report and their autopsy. And I definitely want to put this out there because this is their analysis of the autopsy. And I'm also going to, in between now and tonight's live, I definitely will be going over the autopsy more in detail myself and making my own notes, and also making a comparison to what the Charlotte Observer observed. And also I have picked up on some similarities as well, that they picked up on, that whoa, yeah, that makes you think about this whole thing. Because remember, some people believe that she was already deceased by the time Nazir and the doctor arrived, and some people believe that she was unresponsive. And based on the autopsy that I'm seeing so far, I'm not showing her as being deceased. I'm showing her as being unresponsive. So we're going to go over what the Charlotte Observer, who has also been reporting on this, and their analysis of the autopsy, and see what they thought about it, and the discrepancy with the timeline of events as well. So I did, okay, where did I leave off? Okay, let's see. So yeah, thanks for sharing the petition. I think my mod posted it for Marie, and thanks for asking for it, Marie, and signing it. So let's see. Kelly Block says, "Hi, Dani from Buffalo, New York. Today I came across about people using your content and not giving you credit. That's upsetting. You're the only person I came across who goes above and beyond." I will say that it's teamwork and team effort, and a lot of people have been keeping this alive and doing their part in this. So I am simply just doing my part. However, when it comes to the sharing of information, I believe that this whole time I have freely shared information that I have, a lot of times without any watermarks or anything like that of sorts. Like even when I was given the document, the 18-page document, I freely shared it and I did not add any watermarks to it because we definitely want information to circulate. We definitely want to keep Shanquella's name alive. So I definitely don't want to make it about like, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, and I'm going to strike you, I'm going to strike you. However, there is a such thing as like journalism and etiquette and integrity when it comes to journalism, to where you at least credit your source. And if you have taken any college courses or even school at all, like attended any courses, you know that there's a such thing as plagiarism. And it's just simple etiquette to give credit, or at least, you know, tell where you got the information from as a source. So to constantly, for me to have to put in a lot of time and effort to get information or different things that I do, and then people just completely act like I don't exist and just wipe my name out and crop their name onto it. It's kind of like you do some assignment or work, and then someone scratches your name out and put their name on top of it. It's kind of like disrespectful, right? Especially since I have been sharing other things quite freely without adding any obstructions to it. Like for instance, a lot of times people add a watermark is like in the dead center of the image or video, and people are like, I can't see past the watermark, I can't see what's happening or what's going on. I don't want to do that, because then that will like stop people from being able to report on it or know exactly what's going on. And I don't want to obstruct the view. So that's why I try to put it in a place where it's not going to obstruct anything. But then that leads to people completely just trying to crop me completely out or just take over my work as if it's their own. And that's very disrespectful, and it's poor etiquette, to be honest. Okay, etiquette. So anywho, but yeah, I don't want to get too far into that, because I don't want to make it about, oh, I'm going to strike people, or I'm going to do this or do that. But I'm just saying, like, just show a little bit. We can all disagree and agree on the topic at hand, but we can also still show etiquette when it comes to reporting, right? Okay, so let's see. Hey, Shell. Yeah, so we will be back tonight. I would say that for everyone to just look over the autopsy and also look over what the Charlotte Observer had to say about the autopsy. And once we all look at this, and then we will be able to discuss what has been presented on both sides, okay? And some people will still say the 15 minutes and she was already deceased, and then maybe the new information that came out will make more people believe that she was just unresponsive, but we will all see it, right? Dani, I posted a petition link, but it was blocked or spam. If a mod see it, approve it. Okay, so let's see. You deserve a lot more credit than you get. Yeah, a lot of people on my channel, like my subscribers and members and everyone else, they already show support and love to me, and I definitely appreciate it. But everyone else, like as colleagues, or most, to be honest, a lot of the colleagues on here as well, they also show like, I'm not talking about all the colleagues I have on here, but there are quite a few that I have been ignoring for quite some time, that have been pretty much just taking all of my content and not giving 1 ounce of credit, or making it seem or making it appear that it came from them. And one person was doing it way too much. Like every time I made a video, they would make a video right after with all of my talking points, everything that I said is complete, like everything was just me. So that's when I to be honest, I did email that person, and I was like, you need to stop, because that was being a little annoying, because they had a bigger platform and they were completely just going right after me, just stealing everything. Like it was like my exact wording and my everything. It was getting a little screen
about this case. This young woman was
so I did
killed
email
in
that person and
Mexico
told
in
them to
October of
just
last year.
try to at
The
least
suspect
you can use
in
the
this
content,
country,
but try to at least
along
come
with
up with your
those
own
back here,
talking point
along with those
to make
who
it
were
different. Like we
present
can all watch the
during
same video, but we can give our own
the
thoughts and
deadly
commentary on it without taking someone else's exact verbiage and words and statement as if it's your own. And also the content in the same formatting and lineup, it was odd. Okay, so I did call out that person by email, but if I haven't emailed you, then it's probably not to the point where it's a little bit too much. Yeah. But for the most part, most people do show like a level of etiquette, right? Let's see here. But yeah, once I emailed, then they stopped doing it because I said, if it keeps up, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to call you out publicly. I try to handle things privately at first, and then I'll do public. And I will, trust me, everybody know now I can blast you publicly, but I try to avoid that because that creates drama and it takes away from the movement. So I prefer private handling of the matter, and then from there. Yes, at least they did respond. But interestingly enough, is that there was a reporter there, I think April Ryan, that asked the question. So it's not like they just put out a public statement or a press release themselves. It's kind of like at the conference, they were asked the question and then they answered it. But it's still a response, right? Hey, Sincerely Me. Hey, girl. There can be no doubt that they are aware. Yeah, they are aware. Yes, there's power in numbers. Yeah, she definitely, yeah, I get that too as well. Like if you just read like what she wrote in her statement, it could be like, oh wow, she really cares. But then like her demeanor in public during the video was like, yeah, not really that great, right? Look at how she's looking like, hurry up already. Yeah, I got that same impression. Wow, so y'all feel strongly about her. Like, yeah, it's like I don't really like how she answered it either. It's like, why? It's like this is like irrelevant to the irrelevant or something. Look at that sideways shrug. I expected more from an African American woman. Definitely. I'm sure she will get a lot of heat from her how she answered that question and her demeanor, and facial expressions and body language says a lot when you're speaking. So you definitely have to be mindful of how you look when you're presenting something, right? She never answers the questions in any situation. I wonder how they feel if it was their loved one just that. Yeah, she definitely was persistent. And that's why I said even before that, like when some reporters go out and they ask questions, that's actually good because then that gives us some answers or at least put something on front and center. Because if she had not asked a question, I doubt Shanquella would have came up. So at first, when I heard they gave a statement, I thought it was just directly to the letter and on their own without being pushed to give a response. But now I see that it was actually something that was asked of them at a conference, like at a press hearing, right? Hey, I am unique. Ruby Lee. Okay, let's go ahead and get to the autopsy. Then I'll come back to some comments. Chris Stephanie, Pamela. I called the last part of her talking about an investigation. They already had nearly 5 months to investigate. Yeah, pretty much every time you contact the FBI, it's usually the FBI spokesperson, Shelley Lynn. She always states that it's an ongoing investigation and pretty much their lips are sealed and tight. They're not really going to give any information. However, we have now seen that Sue Ann Robinson got information from Mexico from visiting the state attorney's office over there, right? Possibly Daniel De La Rosa Naya. We don't know. She didn't give a name. They don't give a damn. Well, she definitely needs to be mindful of how she responds because her body language and tone was off-putting, very off-putting. Hey, Pamela. Okay. I think I've mentioned you already. Okay, right, Leslie, which gives me concerned. Just how long does it take the FBI to do an investigation when it's on video? And now, like with this autopsy being released, and there's no more like, could it be possible this happened, or could it be possible that happened? There's nothing that shows up now like that could be anything else but a violent attack on Shanquella. So someone has to answer to that violent attack. Yes, auntie, yes. Thank you, Shell, for the support. Okay, let's see. Hey, baby girl. Teamwork is one thing, but give people proper credit where you get from. People steal Dani content and they watermark it as if they discovered it first. That's not cool. It definitely is not cool, and definitely it's very disrespectful, to be honest. It is. That shows that you actually watch my channel, you watch my content, you see what I'm doing, and then you just pretty much take or steal something, right, and then slap your name onto it. Poor etiquette, definitely. I checked that certain person, but put their watermark on your work. Shady, yeah. Dani, put the work in, respect her work the same way you want others to respect your work and time. Yeah, definitely. And like I said, even when I put the watermark on there, it was at the very bottom. It was not like obstructed anything, so people could still use it without actually removing me, should I say. I didn't actually put it bold and dead center like a lot of people do, to where now it's kind of like you have to peek through the watermark to see anything, because I don't want to do that. And also with documents, I usually put it out, obviously, without any watermarks at all. But apparently, I guess, yeah. I think someone just joined, so let me make sure I shout out that person. Okay, let's see here. We have a new member. Let me scroll up. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. Say hey to Lynette. Welcome to the Avengers, and I appreciate your membership. And like I said, everybody else, I appreciate you as well as a subscriber, and I definitely appreciate my members. Okay, so everyone else, please hit the like button. And I actually need to add some more channel emojis. Yeah, I need to add some more emojis. Hit the like button, the way to support the channel. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the autopsy, because we definitely need to get into this. Hold on. So y'all are some April Ryan supporters. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm glad when people ask questions. Okay, so let's see here. Let's get into the autopsy. Okay, so this is again from the Charlotte Observer. And welcome, welcome, welcome to you as well, Shell. Thank you for joining my channel. I appreciate your membership. Yes, y'all are joining the membership. So welcome to the Avengers. Our channel emoji is the swords, and yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the autopsy. It says Shanquella Robinson death investigation. And it said, what is in Shanquella Robinson autopsy? Document describes violent death. It says the autopsy of Shanquella Robinson backs up assertions from Mexican law enforcement officials, her family, and lawyers who say the 25-year-old Charlotte woman's death was violent and not caused by alcohol poisoning. Robinson traveled to a resort villa in San Jose del Cabo, Mexico, with 6 other people on October 28th. She died a day later. Mexican officials have issued an arrest warrant for a charge of femicide similar to homicide for Desjardins Jackson, according to a recent letter sent to top U.S. government officials by attorneys Ben Crump and Sue Robinson. The U.S. has not issued an arrest warrant, and the FBI's investigation into Robinson's death is ongoing. Lawyers Robinson and Crump released publicly a copy of Shanquella Robinson's autopsy, along with other records, on March 14th. These documents specifically classify Robinson's death as violent and detail her injuries. Previously, some of Robinson's travel mates told her mother she died of alcohol poisoning, as the Charlotte Observer has previously reported. The newly revealed autopsy mostly lines up with the police report excerpt that surfaced last year. Here's what official documents from investigators and the medical examiners show. Okay, it says Shanquella Robinson's death investigation. Much of the previous news coverage of Robinson's death relied on a death certificate issued by Secretary of Health on November 4th, which is true. We all relied on that death certificate that said, you know, we already pretty much viewed that death certificate a million times. The autopsy was conducted by medical examiner Dr. Renee Adalberto Galvin Osagura the day after Robinson died. The report says Robinson died of a broken neck, consistent with her death certificate, which specifically names the cause of her death as severe spinal cord injury and outlet luxation. So pretty much it's saying that her autopsy was performed the day after her death, okay, by Dr. Renee Adalberto Galvin, and I have already showed his credentials on the licensed healthcare database in Mexico, right? Her family members have said her body showed obvious signs of being beaten, and injuries lined up with video footage that surfaced soon after Robinson died, showing a woman attacking Robinson. Remember how they described her body once they went to the funeral home that I showed, the funeral home that she had the funeral at, right? That's the same one that her body was transported to after it left Mexico, okay? After her body was shipped to Mexico, from Mexico, should I say. And when they saw her body, they saw that they easily saw her bruised up face, right? And saw that she had been beaten, obvious signs, okay? The other woman in the video was later identified by hotel staff and investigators as Jackson, according to Crump and Sue Ann Robinson's letter citing information from Mexican prosecutors. The autopsy report shows Robinson had injuries before she died, including a 3-inch bruise on her forehead. Robinson also had bruises on her anatomic snuff box, which is near her left wrist, bruises on either side of her pelvis, and had internal hemorrhaging behind her right eye. These injuries occurred more than 12 hours before Robinson's death, according to the report. Now, pay attention. It says the injuries that are shown in the autopsy occurred more than 12 hours before Robinson's death. So that does not align with the 15-minute time frame, okay? Because it said that she has these injuries like 12 hours, at least 12 hours before her death. Okay. So let's go back over. It says Robinson also had bruises on her anatomic snuff box, which is near her left wrist. Why would someone have these bruises on their left wrist? Usually try to like holding her hand up, probably to defend herself against hits, which is near her left wrist, bruises on either side of her pelvis, and had internal hemorrhaging behind her right eye. And remember, Nazir says she had like a sty or a busted eye. So I guess this is what he's referring to. It says she had internal hemorrhaging behind her right eye. These injuries occurred more than 12 hours before Robinson's death, according to the report. So the busted eye and these possible like defensive wounds were like on her body like 12 hours before her body was like before her death. Okay, so that means that when at that time based on how things are panning out, I have to go over it again. It shows that she was beaten, but then she did not die immediately, that she was still hanging on and probably fighting for her life. And then she passed later on when the doctor came. Let's continue on with the Charlotte Observer. It says, while a police account previously obtained by the Charlotte Observer from Gerardo Zuniga, an investigative reporter who works in Los Cabos for Metropolitan Mix, leaves out mention of obvious physical injuries, the details described in it raise questions about why Robinson's death certificate says she died within 15 minutes of being injured. Medical examiner notes place her death between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. October 29th. The police report says the doctor on scene pronounced her dead at 5:57 p.m. So now it's saying like the autopsy from the medical examiner is placing her death between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. October 29th, and that the police report says the doctor on scene pronounced her dead at 5:57 p.m. and 5:57 p.m. actually goes inside, which is actually a time frame in between that 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. And we have to keep in mind that we have to look at what time they said the injuries occurred at least 12 hours before she died, right? Yeah. So that will put it early in the morning when the probably the brutal beating occurred, the brutal attack, and then she passed away later on when the doctor arrived. And like I said, that's why I said everyone needs to actually go over the autopsy, because based on this, like I said before, I told you before that when someone has atlas luxation, not everyone immediately dies. You can still survive for a extended period of time with atlas luxation, and even and also if you are treated, you can actually not die at all. And there's different levels of how someone will actually experience atlas luxation. Okay, so that's something else we can discuss again, but I pretty much went over atlas luxation and the signs and symptoms of it, and what you would experience when you have that condition or that diagnosis. Okay. It says the police records and interviews with hotel staff show Robinson was alive when medical help arrived, and a doctor from a local hospital was with Robinson and others in the house for close to 3 hours before she was pronounced dead. The medical examiner autopsy report lists her cause of death as atlas and medullary dislocation. This is a traumatic neck injury. No record states unequivocally that Robinson was drunk or had alcohol poisoning. On the death certificate, there's no box to check for information about alcohol or any other substance. In the police report, the doctor observes Robinson had stable vital signs, but was dehydrated, unable to communicate verbally, and appearing to be inebriated. The medical examiner's report does not mention alcohol. And remember, when it said poor communication and poor verbal and unable to communicate verbally. I'm telling y'all that all of this stuff fits into atlas luxation. But someone will be able to still see, they will be able to still hear what's going on or understand what's going on, but they won't be able to really communicate verbally to you. Even Nazir said she had her eyes open and looking around, but she could not get words out. And the doctor also said unable to communicate, right? But stable signs. So let's see. It says what happened in Cabo. Video footage showing an attack where a woman identified as Robinson is severely beaten inside a bedroom as part of the ongoing law enforcement investigation. The footage shows Robinson, who is naked, not fighting back, and falling to the ground. It is unclear when the attack in the video took place. However, an administrator for the villa told investigators it likely occurred between 7 and 8:30 a.m. due to the positioning of the sun and other contexts in the video. Cabo police records show Robinson received medical treatment from doctors and paramedics before she died. In that time, she experienced a seizure, and according to the police report excerpt, her friends refused to have her transported to a medical facility and told the doctor she drank too much alcohol and needed an IV. At 4:49 p.m., the day Robinson died, the doctor who was treating her stopped detecting her pulse. The doctor attempted 14 CPR sessions, 5 doses of adrenaline, and 6 rounds of a defibrillator, but that was unsuccessful, according to the police report. The autopsy mentions burns on Robinson's torso from the defibrillator. So it says 6 rounds of defibrillator. was unsuccessful. According to police report, the autopsy mentions burns on Robinson's torso from the defibrillator. So the burns on her torso was from that. So that's the injuries from the CPR. So the CPR left burns on her torso, okay, from the defibrillator. Okay, so let's see some of your comments, because like I said, I'm going to go over the autopsy and take notes. But if her injuries were sustained 12 hours before her, before she was deceased, before she passed away, that would actually align with her being unresponsive, because she will be brutally beaten and attacked early in the morning. And then she will actually not, it says at 4:49 p.m. the day Robinson died, the doctor who was treating her stopped detecting her pulse. So it says at 4:49 p.m. that's when her pulse was not being detected. And then, yeah. So we pretty much I'm going to go over the autopsy and take my own notes. This is from the Charlotte Observer and what they have observed. But I also picked up on that as well when I glanced over it, was that they mentioned 12 hours before before she passed away, that she had these injuries. So that means that the brutal attack happened way earlier before she passed away, and that meant she actually survived longer than what most people thought. So she was not deceased, given what even like the Charlotte Observer, and according to my opinion, the doctor, Nazir, and other people, she was actually just unresponsive during this, from the time she was beaten until that point. And we have to remember that her condition is Atlas luxation. And when someone has Atlas luxation, they are pretty much unresponsive, meaning that they cannot communicate verbally, they cannot talk, and they cannot move. Like they become paralyzed from the neck down, so they cannot move. But they can still, according to a medical examiner, they can still look around, like their eyeballs can still move around, and they can still hear and understand, but then they cannot speak to you or get words out, should I say. Yeah, it's saying that it is saying that Shell, it's saying that right here. It says at 4:49 p.m. the day Robinson died, the doctor who was treating her stopped detecting her pulse. The doctor attempted 14 CPR sessions, 5 doses of adrenaline, and 6 rounds of a defibrillator, but was unsuccessful, according to police report. So I guess at 4:49 p.m., that's when the pulse was, they didn't detect the pulse. And at that point, they tried to revive her. And once that was done, they could not revive her. That's when they said, okay, that she's deceased. And they determined that there was no way to bring her back around. So that's what I'm getting from this. So then that's probably where the 5:57 p.m. comes in, where she tried different things to bring her back after that, after her pulse stopped being detected at 4:49 p.m. And then at 5:57 p.m. just said, okay, she's now pronounced dead or deceased. But yeah, the topic of this to think about before tonight is this. Go over the autopsy and even what the Charlotte Observer stated and I stated about her injuries and the time that her injuries were sustained, and then go over it, because a lot of people still believe that she was deceased. I have never believed that she was deceased. I have always believed that she was unresponsive, because everything did not add up for her to be deceased. For her to be deceased, that means that everybody that came, also, the concierge never really mentions the maid, but there is a maid that comes. So on that day, Saturday, a maid had to come between these hours, right? So there is a maid, but I don't think it was mentioned on the concierge statements, but there is a maid. Okay, there is a maid that comes in at some point. Because think about this whole day that goes by, there is a maid that comes, and it's usually Lucy, okay? Oh yeah, I spoke to a concierge, and they said that the maid was questioned by the police, the chef was questioned, and then also the concierge was questioned. So there is a maid involved in all of this. Okay. So anyways, the maid, I doubt that the maid and Nazir and the doctor will all say that will also see her body, right? We don't know what the maid actually said. We just hear like hearsay. So we don't have an official statement from the maid yet. But I doubt that Nazir would see her body and then the doctor, and then both say that she was unresponsive. And then she was actually deceased. I never really believed that she was deceased. I have always believed that she was unresponsive. Now, what made me get more details is when a medical examiner explained outlet luxation. And when he explained outlet luxation, that's when it all clicked. Everything clicked into place, because when someone has outlet luxation, they can see what's going on around them. They can hear what's going on around them, but they won't be able to speak, and they were paralyzed from the neck down. So when Nazir described what he saw, it fit in with outlet luxation. And also the doctor, it also would fit in with outlet luxation, where you would have, let's go back. What did the doctor say about Shanquella? Wait 1 second. The doctor's statement actually fit in too with outlet luxation. She said something about, let me see, where is it? She had stable vital signs, but was dehydrated, unable to communicate verbally, and appearing to be inebriated. Now that part, I don't know about that inebriated part. But some other things she mentioned, like the unable to communicate. But I think that's like a translation, because I saw somewhere else it says something about poor verbal. And poor verbal indicates to me that someone is trying. How do you know if someone has poor verbal if they're not trying to speak? Right? So where is it? Okay, hold on. Well, yeah, so let me go ahead and read up your comments, and we will just come back tonight. And I'm actually curious what the people that go over the autopsy, for all those people that believe that she was deceased, how would you explain the injuries and the time of her injuries compared to the time of her the time she was pronounced deceased? And basically go over the autopsy and the complete autopsy, and go over the new details in the autopsy that we have. Because right now we have to keep in mind that there's two things here. The death certificate is what we have all been looking at. That just had that one line, outlet luxation, and had 15 minutes next to it and everything else. And the next thing you need to look at is that now we have the autopsy. Autopsy, it gives a complete workup of the body, what she was wearing, and more details about her cause of death and injuries on her body, and over the examination of what was found. So the autopsy will be more official as to what you will make your determinations by. And from the autopsy, they will take the cause of death, and then they will put that onto the death certificate. So the death certificate is derived from the autopsy. Okay. So I would say go by I'm not saying go by the doctor's statement. I'm saying to go by the autopsy, the autopsy results. So go by the autopsy, and then what was put in the autopsy. So I'm not going to go by what the doctor said. I'm going by the autopsy results. Okay. Open chat. Let's look at the statement about the maid for Sunday. They don't have Sunday maid service. Remember, at this Shanquella was she was unalived on Saturday. So maids come on. That's a Saturday. So the maid came on a Saturday. Oh, you're talking about now, I think you're talking about something afterwards. And for that, I would say that I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about when they said the maid went to check and everything else to see because I think that it would be a kind of a different thing to have maid service, like for guests, like the maid will come this day and that day to clean the villa for you while you're during your stay. And then there's another way where a maid will actually come because people are like checking out or in the villa, and then they will have to actually clean the villa for the next guest or the next arrival. So that's something we definitely will have to figure out as well. I don't know. I think that's what you're referring to. because there's a difference between like maid service for guests to actually come while you're there and still living there to clean and everything else, and then there's maid service for when there's typical maid cleaning for when a maid just comes to clean for the next guest. So we will have to look into that. Let me go over the super chats, and then I will see y'all later on today. And also, if you actually plan on coming on the panel, make sure you also probably message me at Dani Robertson YT. That's Dani Robertson YT. If you are planning to discuss something that I need to make sure I have available, because that way I can make sure I have it. That's one thing I have available to present. Okay, let's see here. Shout out to Kitty. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Yes, Hunter. Yes. Thank you for the support, girl. Yes. Wait 1 second. I haven't seen you a minute on this channel. I think I've seen you on my other channel though. But yeah, so you, girl, you are. I think you have. You're on all my channels. Thank you for the support, Kitty. Let me. I think I saw something else. Let me see. Hey, Spicy. Hey, girl. Hey. Welcome to all who are just joining. Thank you for being here. Currently, Dani is going over the autopsy. Yeah. So, let me go ahead and link y'all to this. Let me show you the Charlotte Observer article, because I'm definitely going to be discussing their article. They have been covering this case since the beginning, and I definitely did want to see their opinion of the autopsy, and they pretty much said the same thing I said about the time frame of the injuries. The time frame of the injuries and then the time of death on the autopsy shows that she survived longer than that 15 minutes, really. So shout out to Kitty. Thank you for supporting my channel. And also shout out to Marie Phillips for the 1999 super sticker. I appreciate it. Thanks, girl, so much. Yes, Hunter. Yes. What's Friday? Y'all are spoiling me. Yeah, so, and who else is here? Shout out to Keep Up the Good Work, Dani. Hey, Sonny, don't tell me to tell the people. Thank you, girl. And I think I saw somebody else as well. Well, no, okay, that was it. So thank you so much, Sonny from Don't Tell Me Tell the People. That's my girl right there. Check out her channel as well. And let's see here. Well, I don't know. Let me check out her channel. I don't know if she's still posting. Girl, let me check your channel again. But yeah, subscribe to my girl Sonny's channel. Don't Tell Me Tell the People. Okay, right now she's taking a break, but still subscribe to her channel for when she starts posting again. Then you'll be ready to subscribe to her channel. She talks about politics and other interesting media articles. Okay, so check out her channel. Don't Tell Me Tell the People. Dani, will you be discussing the newly released autopsy? Yeah, the autopsy right here. The Charlotte Observer actually mentions the autopsy, and they went over it. So yeah, I do have the documents right here, and I also have posted it to my community, not the community tab, but my contents, right? So this is the official autopsy and the documents that were released. I do have those, and I went over it the other day as well. As far as the autopsy, I'm going to take notes on the autopsy and then go over it. And I'm also going to make, I'm going to compare my notes to the Charlotte Observer. But I did see, this is the autopsy. I will post a link again. I don't know if my mod, Fond to Be Blonde is here. But yeah, here's the autopsy. And pretty much what the Charlotte Observer did was they went over the autopsy, and then they made their own conclusions. So that's why I shared their article, right? And now I'm going to also read over myself and take my own notes and give my own conclusions on it. But I'm also saying that I agree with the Charlotte Observer's notes, because let's see here. Like for example, I'll give one example right now because I actually want to make sure that this is for tonight. Okay, like on page 15 of the document, it says description of external injuries, and it says direct contusion in the frontal region in the median part, 8 by 4 centimeters with hematoma, right? And then the next line says direct contusion in the left iliac crest with a hematoma 7 by 3 centimeters. It says the injury happened more than 12 hours before death. You see what I mean? The injury happened more than 12 hours before her death. And if you go down, there's another one that says contusion in the right iliac crest with a hematoma 4 by 8 centimeters. The injury happened more than 12 hours before her death. So if she attains a lot of these injuries 12 hours before her death, that means she survived with these injuries and would survive past the time she was brutally beaten for at least more, it says more than 12 hours. So this had to happen early. The brutal attack had to happen early in the morning, because when he did the autopsy a day later, he said that those injuries occurred way before she passed away. Okay. So that's why I said there's a discrepancy here for everyone that believed that she was already deceased, right, like 15 minutes after the brutal attack. It says those brutal attack injuries occurred 12 hours before her death. So that's why I said, if my mod is here to actually post a link to this document, I can actually find the link myself really quick. Okay. So I am going to go over the autopsy line by line and take my notes. But I said I agree with the Charlotte Observer, because how can she have these injuries 12 hours before her death? And remember, now, it's also possible that there's also other, there was more brutal attacks occurring. Okay, there was more brutal attack occurring as well. Now, the link I'm about to post, anybody can view it. You can view it on your phone and everything. It takes you directly to the link. Okay, so let me go ahead and get that link again. Okay, and what everybody can do is review this, take your notes, and then we'll all be back tonight to discuss it. So this is your homework assignment. Let me go to my other video. It's actually in the comments of my last video. Not the last video, but the video right before that. So let me go ahead and go to that video again. And I'm going to drop it. And like I said, pay attention to the timing. 12 hours before she died, it was determined based on the analysis or examination of her external exterior, right, of her body, that those injuries occurred way before she was deceased. And there's a scientific method, a way of calculating that, the time frame, right? Let's see. There's a difference between like someone having an injury 15 minutes before they are deceased or passed away, and someone having the injuries 12 hours before. If you have ever been injured, you can actually see that for yourself. There's a difference when it first happens, and then 12 hours pass by. There can be, it won't be 100% drastic, but there is definitely a difference in the injury after 12 hours of it occurring, and immediately after like 15 minutes. So okay, I think this is the one. So I'm gonna post the link at this timestamp, and then I'm also gonna post it in the comment section. It gotta take 5. Okay, so right now you can test that link out. Go ahead and test the link out, and you can click on it, okay? And tonight we will be back, and we will be discussing the autopsy and other things as well in open chat. there is something you want to discuss, but you need a video for it to give your explanation or your viewpoint on it, make sure you actually message me at Dani Robertson YT so I can make sure I have the video ready to discuss or and clipped out. Okay. That way we don't have to go searching for it. And then let's see here. Where's that other article? So yeah, that's when I see the 12-hour information. And then also I noticed that at first. That's why I shared the Charlotte Observer. Let's go back to the Charlotte Observer, and then you'll see what I'm talking about when they actually say it too. It says Robinson also had bruises on her anatomic snuff box, which is near her left wrist, bruises on either side of her pelvis, and had internal hemorrhaging behind her right eye. Remember that busted eye? These injuries occurred more than 12 hours before Robinson's death, according to the report. So she was busted in her eye was busted 12 hours before she died. 12 hours before she died, according to the autopsy, official autopsy report. That means she survived at least 12 hours after she had that busted eye, after the brutal attack. So she was unresponsive, not deceased. Now, again, I'm going to go over the autopsy in more detail and line by line to see if there's anything else that would dispute that. And if anyone else can go read it and find any discrepancy as well, then so be it. But yeah, this is pretty much going to be an argument on whether or not she was unresponsive or deceased. I believe that she was unresponsive and experiencing outward fluxation. But if someone can go argue against why it will actually show that she was deceased, then we can have that debate in this discussion. And remember, as always, that we can agree to disagree. It doesn't have to be set one way or the other. It's called an open chat and open discussion, and pretty much just to pick each other's brains or minds until why we believe the way we believe. Okay, so I will see y'all tonight. Make sure y'all hit the like button on your way out, and I will see y'all tonight for open discussion. And remember, respect each other's right to have an opinion and to give each other's perspective over it. All I ask is that everybody read over the autopsy or in the documents, and also look over the Charlotte Observer article, and then we can all come here with the same links. Okay, so Jamila says the links work. So yeah, that's the link to the article, and everybody can read it. I'm also going to post it one more time, the link to the Charlotte Observer, so you can see their perspective as well, which I kind of agree with their perspective as well. I believe that that there was more attack. We only saw 17 seconds. I believe that she was being attacked before the video, and I also believe that she was being attacked after the video stopped that Malik was recording. So I do believe that there's more footage. However, that still does not negate the fact that some injuries were on her body or sustained 12 hours before she passed away. And for Scott, I don't want to get too much into it right now, but for Scott, this is my question to you. You said Sad taking turns beating her up. For this question, I would say, if it's true that others took turns beating her up, then why is there only one arrest warrant for Desjanae Jackson? And why do they keep on saying one direct aggressor? So if you can come back tonight, answer that question. Why do they keep saying one direct aggressor and then one extradition arrest warrant for femicide for her murder? And that's for Desjanae Jackson. If others took part, which they have already been investigated in court in Mexico, they have submitted who committed the femicide. They said others might be involved in cover-up and omission, but they have only named one direct aggressor for the femicide charge and the direct aggressor. And they said that's Desjanae Jackson. If others were involved, they would already have evidence of that, and they would have more than one arrest warrant. So how can you account for others being involved? That would be my question to you for tonight, okay? Now, I've already heard rumors about there being other videos out there of someone being attacked. However, since statements are already been placed by Cabo, all the Cabo, and everybody else, Why is there still only one direct aggressor listed, which is Dejanae Jackson? And also, where did the misinformation come from about there being other attackers? And why isn't there an arrest warrant for them? Dani, thank you for all your hard work. It is appreciated. You're welcome. You're welcome. And also, I appreciate all y'all support. But let me go ahead and get out of here, because if I have to be back tonight, I have a lot of other things to take care of before I come back. So I will see y'all later, and we will have this discussion, and I will have a call line and also open panel. Bye. And hit that like button on your way out.